November. Now, I do always do 2 shows, just to let you know. And the first show will air after this one, because it'll be the first Saturday they'll do it. Now, the second one that I'm going to do is all on Thanksgiving and turkeys. And that one is going to show right on Thanksgiving Day. But let's get to work. All right. Now, you have to remember, what color does Miss Tasha love? Purple. And what does Miss Tasha just love to eat?
I love chocolate.
And then, of course, the third thing you have to know about Miss Tasha is my voice. Because sometimes I scare people with my voice, because I have quite the voice when I want to. All right, the theme today is fun and unusual books that I have collected over the years, ending with the story about self-love by somebody who is local right here in Amador County. All right, so here we go. How many of you know who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? All right, so what you're going to have to do is, if you're at home, you can just do it on the table. You go 1. You're just going to do it like this the whole time. All right, because everything keeps a beat. All right, here we go. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Well, Doggy stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? Well, I was playing in the den when I noticed there were 10. Oh, it's such a pity. It must have been the kitty. Oh, no. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Well, Kitty stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Could be. Then who? I was playing with a vine when I noticed there were 9. A missing cookie isn't funny. It must have been the bunny. All right, who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Well, Bunny stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? Well, I was lounging in my crate when I noticed there were 8. I think I must have heard Cookie crunching from the bird. Okay, who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Well, Birdie stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? I was flying up towards heaven when I noticed there were 7. Stealing cookies takes some pluck, so it must have been the, what rhymes with pluck? Duck. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Well, Ducky stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? Well, I was practicing new tricks when I noticed there were 6. Eat a cookie? How I wish. But it must have been the, if he's going into the swimming pool, the fish, yes. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Well, Fishy stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? I was in a deep sea dive when I noticed there were 5. Cookie crumbs are very big. It must have been the guinea pig. Really? Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Well, Guinea stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? I was rolling on the floor when I noticed there were 4. I don't eat cookies when I jog, so it must have been, what rhymes with jog? Well, it's not the dog, because they've already done the dog. Frog. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Froggy stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? I was munching on a bee when I noticed there were 3 stolen cookies in the house. It must have been the, there he is down there, the mouse. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Well, Mousy stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? Yes, you. Couldn't be. Then who? I was hiding in the shoe when I noticed there were 2. Stealing cookies is very bad. It must have been Dad. Who stole the cookie from the cookie jar? Daddy stole the cookie from the cookie jar. Who, me? I confess I ate the cookies and it wasn't very fair. So to make it up to you, I guess I'll have to share. And there they all get the last cookie. They all get to eat the last cookie together. I know, that's a fun one. All right. Now the next one is very interesting because it's all about, oh, shoot, I didn't do it. Okay, Who Stole the Cookie from the Cookie Jars by Margaret Wang, illustrated by Christine Schneider. It's designed by Tasha Runnels. Copyright was 2005. The publisher, I love the publisher, Piggy Toes Press. It's a trademark of Intervisual Books Incorporated. Now we're doing Tales by Matthew Van Fleet, edited and art by Skip Skywark. Copyright is 2003. Publisher is Dragonfly Design Incorporated at Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Publishing Company. All right. This is fun because it's a flip one and everything. It's really neat. Here we go. Oh my gosh, look at all the tails. I love it. There are tails that are furry, like the tiger. Ew, tails that are spiny, like the porcupine. Tails rainbow-hued and shiny. Chris, who's that? That's the peacock, yes. There's the tails that stand up, like the little, I think, well, are those, which ones are those? I think, are those the squirrels? No, those, yeah. Oh, chipmunks, that's what they are, they're the chipmunks. Tails that drag, that's like a raccoon. And tails frisky, wag, wag, wag. There's tails that are fluffy, and tails that are stringy, from the warthog, and scaled tails, strong and clingy. Oh my word, look at that. What is that? I'll have to, at the end it will tell me what all these animals are. Miss Tasha just, you know. There's tails that are long, of course I know that's monkeys, and tails that are stumpy, and that's like panda. And pulling tails make snoozes. Okay, here we go. It's supposed to go up here. Why isn't it doing it? It's supposed to go up. Oh, there it goes. Pulling tails make some grumpy. Ah! Oh, they're not very happy. Okay. Well, tails that are old. Okay. Oh, tails that are new with the look at the, oh, so you can see the eggs cracking. Yes. Okay. Bumpy tails are fun to chew. I don't think the mommy thinks so, but anyway. Some tails are cool. Tails are hot. Tails swishing to get rid of the flies. Swat, swat, swat. Tails broad, of course that's a beaver, yeah. Oh, tail slinky, okay. Uh-oh. Now, you're supposed to scratch and sniff because it says tails can, and you know what? They did a pretty good, except it's old now, but I still can smell it. Stinky, because of course, who is stinky? Skunk. Miss Tasha's had her full of skunks. I had an aggressive skunk at my house this summer. It was not fun. You've seen some tails large, like the two of them. Some very small. Okay. Now here's one more. Whoa! Wait a minute. I got to do the whole thing. Wow! The biggest tail of all. Okay, now I'm going to go through and we're going to go, and just so you know what all the animals are. All right, this is a tamarin, which I thought was different. Okay, yes, it was a chipmunk. We do have a weasel, we have a beaver, we have a porcupine, we have a boar, we have a peacock, we have a tiger, we have an alligator and a pig, and of course the wonderful skunk. We have a raccoon. Okay, this is called pangolin, is this one, which I did not know. a fox, we have pandas, and we have bush babies. But of course, the biggest tale, of course, is the whale. Isn't that a good book? Kind of fun, and it tells you about some of the animals too, which is good. All right. Okay, are you ready? Da-da-da-da. Can you guess what this one is about? All right, except I have to move it down so I can read. I gotta read. I do not like that name. It's written and illustrated by Aaron McGill. Copyrights 2019. Publisher is Green Willow Books, imprint of HarperCollins Publisher. And this is about an elephant that does not like his name. Okay. All right, here we go. It's hard when some of these are such new books that I haven't read very much. Okay. One morning when Sophie and Herb were having breakfast, Sophie noted something on the cereal box. Look at this, Herb. We can send away for an elephant. Okay. Oh, that would be exciting, said Herb. Can you imagine all the fun we could have with our very own elephant? Let's do it, said Sophie. So before they ran out of elephants, said Herb. I don't know about that. Oh my gosh, wide load. Handle, fragile with care, this end up. We stampede to your door. Okay. Finally, the big day arrived. Hi, I'm Herb, said Herb. I'm Sophie, said Sophie. What's your name? I don't have a name, said the elephant. Velvet Valley. Shipped to Sophie and Herb's house. Pachyderm Express. The premier elephant delivery service enclosed is one elephant. To be named upon arrival. Congratulations, you have a new friend. Thank you for your order. We at Velveteen Valley appreciate your business. Look for Peanut Crunch, our newest flavor. Perfect for elephants. It's your job to name me, said the elephant. Choosing a name is very important, said Sophie. A name is the way you introduce yourself. It's what your friends will shout when they cheer you on. See, he won the carrot cup. And it's how others know when something belongs to you. See, like her bag. We will help you pick out the right name, said Herb. Oh, I know, said Sophie. I love flowers and ballet. What about Petal or Buttercup or Twinkle Toes? Can you imagine an elephant named Twinkle Toes? I don't think so. I'm not a flower and I'm not light on my toes. I do not like those names, the elephant said. Okay. Well, here we go. Marshmallow maybe? String bean? Or how about sweet potato? Said Herb. No way. I do not like those names either. I want a name that's right for me. How did you get your names? Asked the elephant. Smart question. Well, I come from a long line of Herbs. Here is Herb the First, Herb the Great, Herb the Explorer, Herb the Wise, Herb the Valiant, and Herb the Brave. And I named for Sophie after a famous ballerina, said Sophie. Okay. The elephant remembered an elephant from long ago named Tony the Woolly, because remember they were woolly mammoths. Tony the Woolly was heroic and noble, adventurous and smart, just like me, he told Sophie and Herb. I like the name Tony. He said, it's too bad that I'm not woolly. These are so hard to turn. Here we go. The best part of having a name is making it your own, said Sophie. Come on, Tony. Let's have some fun, said Herb. That's sounds just right to me, said Tony. Hooray for our friend Tony, said Sophie and Herb. And of course, they're wearing their wonderful helmets like they should. And there they are eating. And there's Tony's food, and they're eating those treats that he likes. So, isn't that a cute one? Yeah, it's kind of different. I realize now I can take this off. It was hard to see with the nose. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, boy, the next one. All right, the next one is Bobby Babinski's Bathtub. Very hard to say that fast, right. It's by Judy Young. It's illustrated by Kevin M. Barry. Copyrights 2020, and the publisher is Sleeping Bear Press. I thought that was kind of cute, too. All right, here we go. You aren't going to believe about this bathtub. Oh, my God. It's so funny. All right, here we go. It's bath time, said Papa with a big, wide grin, but Bobby Babinski refused to get in. It's not that I think I don't need a good scrub. It's just that I hate climbing into the tub. So Papa took his tools and made a huge slide that went loopity-loop and went glippity-glide. The slide was so tall it required him to chop a hole in the roof to get to the top. Okay. Bobby Babinski climbed up and went down, and slipping and sliding and turning around, down toward the bathtub he zoomed with a flash. Then Bobby Babinski slid in with a splash. Bobby came up with a smile on his face, but soon a deep frown started to take place. What's wrong? Papa asked him. Is the water too cold? There's nothing to play with, Papa was told. So Papa Babinski got a big pail, and into the tub he poured in a whale, 2 dolphins, 3 crabs, and some tropical fish. Went into the tub with a swoosh and a swish. Oh my gosh, really? A whale? The dolphins wedged tight, the whale sat on his lap, and the tropical fish filled the last little gap. The crabs crawled across Bobby's head in a race, and Bobby complained, "There's not enough space!" So with shovel and pick, Papa started to dig, and soon Bobby's bathtub was enormously big. It stretched out to the lawn across the neighbors, and Bobby seemed happy with all Papa's labors. Now Papa unwrapped a bar of white soap and tossed it to Bobby, but Bobby said, "Nope! I don't like to wash," Bobby said to his dad. "Soap gets in my eyes, and that makes me quite sad." So Papa ran off, but came back in a dash and tossed in an octopus in with a splash. 5 arms, each held washcloths. 1 arm held a hose. 1 grabbed up the soap, and an empty arm rose. It wrapped around Bobby without any trouble. Soon Bobby Babinski was covered with bubbles. The octopus squirted them off with a hose. Now Bobby was clean from his head to his toes. "It's time to come out," Papa said, held up a towel, but Bobby Babinski's face turned to a scowl. "I really do think it's so much more fun if I could dry off lying out in the sun." So Papa got sand and dumped it up high, making an island where Bobby could dry. Bobby climbed out and sat under the trees, resting and drying in the tropical breeze. Oh, brother. Now Bobby was dry, but he started to fret. To get off this island, I'll have to get wet. He yelled to his papa, "I'm all nice and dry. It's really a shame that I cannot fly." "Don't worry," said Papa, and true to his word, Papa sent over a huge flying bird. It scooped Bobby up with a huge wings gyrating. It flew over the water water to where Papa was waiting. As Bobby Baginski dropped in Papa's lap, Papa held some PJs saying, "It's time for a nap." But Bobby Baginski said no with a grin. "I want to have bath time all over again." Oh my God, that poor father. Sometimes kids can be, yeah. All right, you are not going to believe this next one. This is Edward Fuddwupper fibbed big. Explained by Fanny Fuddwupper with Berkeley Breathead helping slightly and doing illustrations. Copyright is 2000. Publisher is a Storyopolis book, Little Brown and Company. Whew. Oh my God, this is a real hysterical one. All right, here we go. From a long line of liars, there's none higher upper than my fibbing big brother, the Edward Fuddwupper. There he is now. I know just what he's doing. He's thinking of who could be next for some fooling. Edward's been cooking up fibs full of fooey. He'll serve them up sweet, all gooey with honey. Look at the look on that face. Oh my gosh. Last week, he fibbed big and told Mabel Dill, "I've read that you've been voted the Queen of Brazil. They want you to come. Bikinis bring 10. I think Mabel went. No one's seen her since then." And look at the size of Mabel. And it says here, yeah, "We want Mabel Dill." Yeah, he did all of that. Yes, he brought them up long and he thought them up tall. But did he think much of me? No, not much. Not at all. There's his poor little sister. Like the time he fibbed big and told Ben and Dinky that I'd been born by a poodle named Stinky. That wasn't very nice. That wasn't so nice, but that fib I'd forgive if he only liked me or noticed that I live. Early this morning, he did it again. He whacked a baseball and things smashed in the den. Dad rushed on over and found Mom's cracked pig. Then Edward Fuddwupper fibbed way too big. Look at that look. Oh my gosh. It's all clearly quite simple, you know. The whole thing was done by two pigs from Pluto. They were cruising by Earth, looking down from above when they spotted Mom's pig and fell deeply in love. So they dropped one pig here. He could not resist. That passionate poker insisted a kiss. But he leaned in too far and Mom's pig hit the ground. On Pluto, you see, they kissed sitting down. And then he left broke-hearted, upset and unseen, and his ship picked him up with a pig-lifting beam. And that's all, that's the truth, said Edward the Fib Slinger. And the whole of the Fib history, a whopping humdinger. Then a yelp and a howl, excuse me, and a scream from nearby. Lorna May Loon had been listening outside. "Mabel Dill," she cried loudly, "has been missing for days. She must have been grabbed by those pig-lifting rays." Uh-oh. And he's going, shh, shh, shh. She got to the phone and screamed loud and shrill. "Space monster piggies have nabbed Mabel Dill. They're coming for me and they're coming for you. Send the Army, the Air Force, and a dog catcher too." Oh my word, look at all this. And that's just what they did. They came for the space pigs with planes and with tanks and with loud whirligigs. Oh, it was dreadful, a real world stopper. all from an Edward Fuddwhopper Fat Whopper. Oh, no. They pointed their loudspeaker dishes to space, and those generals roared till red in the face. Now listen out there, we'll shoot, yes we will. Come back here at once and bring Mabel Dill. Edward watched all of this for quite a long time, but people were staring at something behind. Oh, rats, Edward thought, how much more could there be? You aren't going to believe this. Look at that. A face filled the sky from the hills to the sea. It did not look happy, not pleasant, nor soft. In fact, that big thing looked somewhat ticked off. Of course, I like it. It was purple and green with an eye on its snout. Look at that, an eye on its snout. Ooh, gosh. It opened its mouth, roaring, "Who started this hoot?" Oh my gosh, look at him in his pajamas. Oh my gosh. I live quite close by, just 2 galaxies down, and I just cannot sleep with this fuss and this sound. I know nothing of pigs, nor of a lost Mabel Dill. So someone's been fibbing with slippery skill. Who is this gnat? Point out where he's at. Show him to me and I'll swat him down flat. Because there's his fly swatter. And that's what they did. Each dad and each mother pointed right at my shaking big brother. Edward dropped low. He was scared 10 times double. He fibbed way too big and was now in huge trouble. Then wait, what was that sound? A voice, small and fine? Everyone stopped. Who was it? It was mine. Oh, please, I called out. It's my fault, don't you see? I broke the blue pig. Edward's fib was for me. So, dear grumpy thing with 3 eyes in your head, see that it's me you should swat down instead. What could I do? Edward faced a big mess. I told a fat fib. Yes, I learned from the best. And you notice she does have a purple dress on. Just thought I'd throw that out. I thought I'd be smushed, smashed, squashed right on down. But that big face looked in with a smile, not a frown. I think, he said firmly, you both are big fibsters. But out where I live, we're not loved by our sisters. Mine, by the way, I have left all alone, and now I'll go back to her sleeping at home. He looked at me odd, kind of sad, kind of blue. It sure would be nice to have one like you. Then he turned round his ship, and back home he drove. And I turned to find Edward looking me over. He said not a thing as we walked back to Dad, where there he looked up and confessed, I've been bad. So we taped and we glued and we fixed up Mom's pig, and we told Mom the truth that we fibbed fat and big. Our folks hugged us both and collected no fines. That was nice because they had all that stuff. Oh, look at the pig. But we still sat in time out to pay for our crimes. Then Ed looked at me with a smile that was new, and he said, it's nice to have one like you. 2 former fibsters, that Edward and me, but brother and sister we finally be. He has his arm around her. This is the kicker. And if somebody knows where Mabel Dill went, please tell her from Edward there was no harm intent. And there she is in a bikini, and she is the Queen of Brazil. And I don't think they really wanted her to be the Queen of Brazil. Anyway, wasn't that a cute one? All right, now, my final story today is from Mr. Huss. He's the principal at Ione Elementary. His daughter, Mia Huss, given especially to me, I need to read what she wrote to me and her author biography. There's no copyright date, publisher, but it is Lightning Source LLC. The title of this book is Love is a Garden. It's a story of self-love, and it's by Mia Huss, who works here as a stringer, I think he said, for the Ledger Dispatch. Okay. So here's what she said. Oh, hey, come on. Light on. Light on. Why isn't the light on? Let's go. Good Lord. What do I have to... I did that!
Motion sensor.
Oh, I have to go over there? Okay.
You might want to start over.
All right, I'm going to try again. All right. So, anyway, the title of this is Love is a Garden. It's a story of self-love. It's by Mia Huss. And she is... Jack knew her because she's a stringer and she does a lot of things. She does a lot of things in Amador County. Let me put it this way. Miss Tasha, I wrote this in college for a children's literature class. The more I see you out and about, because of course you know I have my nose and I have, and it's, wait till you see my turkey, because of course November 1st I started wearing my turkey. I think my story applies to the good work you do. You don't know me, but I hope you get to know me a little better with my story. I hope you share it. Mia Huss. P.S. Thank you for investing in the children of this community, a.k.a. our future leaders, doctors, farmers, etc. Wasn't that nice? So here we go. Love is a Garden by Mia Huss. You are seen, you are loved. Dedicated to past, present, and future me, may this be a reminder of all the things you should be telling yourself every day. There's a garden that grows within my mind. It doesn't grow plants like rosemary and thyme, but instead it grows love for all shapes and kinds. It come on in and explore this garden of mine. Over here is where I stop comparing myself to others. We're all important no matter our size, shape, or color. You are perfect in every way. Those who don't believe that can just go away. This is where others' negative opinions go in the trash. It's not cool to mock or bash. I eliminate negative comments from my mind because the only thoughts I should have are mine. So, mean, stupid, annoying, unworthy, rude, idiot, important, loved, kind, and amazing are good words. This is the space of imperfections. Oh, this is the space of imperfections. We never ever need corrections. We are perfect the way we are. So go ahead and shoot for the stars. Your body doesn't determine your worth. You were made for this earth. What others say and see do not determine how I feel about me. This part of the garden has a big mirror. It helps me see my perfections clearer. I look in the mirror to remind me that there's no other person I'd rather be. See, it says, you are loved. Sometimes it can be hard for my garden to thrive, but bumps in the road remind me that I'm alive. One day I stand tall and others I don't, but my garden of love helps me cope. I take what I learned from my garden of love to show others there's nothing I'm unworthy of. Smart lady. The garden of love grows every day. So go, be free. Go outside and play. We don't need others to show us how to live. We must thrive and be positive. Your garden of love can look different than mine, but either way, you'll be just fine. This is love. This is because love is different to all. So if you see something loved differently, then don't be appalled. Just say hello, say, and how do you do? Everyone's garden of love is different, and so are you. Difference is nothing bad. Uniqueness is something that you should make sure you're glad. So go water your garden of love. Hopefully you will learn self-love. And maybe one day you'll be like me, sharing your self-love journey. Go ahead and let your garden grow. It doesn't matter if it's fast or slow. All that matters is that you eventually see your perfect mind, soul, and body. The end. Okay, now, the next things are, Jack is going to put on, so you can download these on the Ledger Dispatch website, okay? Positive affirmations to practice. And I don't care if you're 3 years old or 90 years old. You can do this. I am confident. I am brave. I am important. I am proud of myself. My best is enough. Anything is possible. And I am loved. And here's some more positive affirmations to practice. I can do anything. I'm allowed to make mistakes. That's a hard one, but you are allowed to make mistakes. My uniqueness is beautiful, and Miss Tasha is kind of unique. I'm smart. I'm capable. I matter. I get better every day. And so this is a little bit, I got to read a little bit about this. Okay, this is about Miss Huss, Mia Huss. She is a student in Sacramento State, so this is when she was in college, majoring in political science and journalism. After experiencing anxiety and watching her family members struggle with understanding mental health, she made it a personal goal to educate others on the importance of mental health for children and their families. Starting mental health awareness at a young age can help them in their growth later on in life. Thank you, Mia Huss. That's it for now, but of course, I will be back with all the turkeys and all that stuff. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.